Hi, it's Sarah and I'm going to read a book for children. The name is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The young Charlie Bucket lives in a tiny house with his 4 grandparents and his parents. His father works in a toothpaste factory, but his meager salary is barely enough to feed his family. The situation became even more worrying when he lost his job a few weeks later. Charlie had enough to eat, but the one thing that he longed for more than anything else was chocolate. Every year, for his birthday, he receives 1 chocolate bar, which he makes last a month. His sufferings are aggravated by the proximity of enormous Wonka chocolate factory, which Charlie dreams of entering, although its access is strictly forbidden. In the evening, the young boy listens to the story of his grandparents, who adore him. One day, they tell him that Mr. Wonka is a chocolate genius. He exports his chocolate all over the world, supplies skins, and has invented, for example, caramel that changes color every 10 seconds. They also mention the strange employees who work there that nobody ever sees coming in or out of the factory. Indeed, a long time ago, Mr. Wonka had closed his factory and disappeared. Then he had come back and opened it again. The factory has now been operating for 10 years. But its doors always stay closed. However, one evening, Charlie's father comes home with a newspaper in his hands, on which the following title is printed in large letters: Wonka Factory to be opened at last to lucky few. Indeed, Mr. Wonka announces that he will welcome into his factory the 5 lucky people who find a golden ticket in one of his chocolate bars, which are sold over the whole world. He will introduce them to his secrets and will give them enough chocolate and sweets to last them for the rest of their life. Charlie is celebrating his birthday the following week and wishes more than anything to receive a golden ticket. But the chances are very small. When the important day arrives, Charlie grabs his chocolate bar without luck. Charlie decides to share his chocolate bar with all his family. The 5 lucky fingers. The entire world fight over Wonka bars, and soon the picture of the first winner appears in the newspaper. He is a disgusting overweight boy whose name is Augustus Glob. A few days later, the second winner is revealed: Baruch Salt, a young girl spoiled by her father, who bought hundreds of thousands of chocolate bars. 2 other tickets are found. The first one belonged to Violet Beauregard, a fine young girl who chewed gum all the time. And the second one is Meg T.B., who spends his time watching violent movies. Charlie's family is disgusted once more by the stupidity of the winners. There is only one more ticket to find. A harsh winter arrives, and Charlie's family is very hungry. One night, the boy finds a 50p in the snow. He decides to buy a chocolate bar, which he eats on the shop, then buy another one, in which he finds the last golden ticket in front of the astonished shopkeeper. People start gathering around Charlie, and several people offer big sums of money to buy his ticket. But Charlie chooses to keep it. At home, happiness reaches a whole new level, and Grandpa Joe, who hasn't left his bed in 20 years, jumps up and down. A message from Mr. Wonka accompanies the ticket, in which he promised the winner delicious food till the end of his days. The visitor of the factory is to take place the following day. Overjoyed, Grandpa Joe is choosing to accompany Charlie, who is allowed to bring one member of his family. They visit to the factory. The next day, a crowd is gathering in front of the chocolate factory, anxious to see the little winners. Then Mr. Wonka, who looks like a square in the quickness of his movements, like a quick, clever old square from the park, opens the heavy doors and warmly welcomes the children, who are each accompanied by one of their parents. They enter a maze of corridors and finally arrives in the chocolate room. In the middle of the room, a chocolate river flows, bordering with luscious vegetation made of mint sugar. Strange little men watch the visitors. Mr. Wonka introduced them as the Oompa Loompas. Mr. Wonka brought them trip back from Loompaland, where they were starving and constantly looking for cocoa beans, which they are very fond of, used to getting everything she wants. Veruca Salt immediately demands an Oompa Loompa from her father, while Augusto Globe starts drinking directly from the chocolate river. But suddenly, he gets caught in one of the big pipes. Mr. Wonka promised that nothing will happen to him. Mr. Wonka and the children board his personal yacht, made of pink sweets. Guessing that Charlie and his grandfather are starving, he offers them a cup of chocolate from the river. They arrive in the inventing room, the Temple of Chocolates. At the center of the room stands a machine with hands out chewing gum in every kind of color. Mr. Wonka has just invented a chewing gum that could replace a full meal, violet burger, and to the exit. But she suddenly changes color and turns into a gigantic blackberry. Mr. Wonka, falsely worried, half-warned her that the invention was not ready yet. He has her taken to the using room, where she is to be squeezed. However, the young girl will forever have a violet face. The Oompa Loompas start singing a song in which they criticize Violent's habits of always saying gum. Well, 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 two naughty little children gone, sighed Mr. Wonka. The group is now crossing wheel halls. Mr. Wonka shows them the butter salt and buttering room which the Oompa Loompa are fond of. Then they stop in the nut room, where trained squirrels are selling walnuts. Following an order from his daughter, Veruca's father asks to buy one to satisfy her. As Mr. Wonka refuses, he tries to catch one herself, but the squirrel is furious, throws her down. The rabbit shot, from which she will come out dirty. The group take the great glass elevator, which takes them over the whole chocolate factory. Mr. Wonka and the children enter the television chocolate room, which in the same way that a normal television splits an image into thousands of pieces, makes thousands of chocolates bar from the image of a chocolate bar taken up by a camera. Make TV rendered mad by the proximity of a television, comes too close to the camera and finds himself disintegrated into 1,000 pieces which disappear into the atmosphere. He finally appears on the television screen and his mother manages to seize him, but he is now minuscule. Mr. Wonka suggests elongating him using a machine that tests the strangeness of chewing gum. The Oompa Loompas signs about the television. Charlie is thus the only child left. Mr. Wonka tells him that he has one, and that he will be able to admire the outside of the chocolate factory. The great glass elevator races through the roof, and Charlie and Joe admire with wonder in their eyes the city ascend from above. They see the other children and their parents in front of the doors. Mr. Wonka tells Charlie that he will give him his factory when he is older, and in the meantime he will teach him everything about his chocolate making secret, and his whole family will be allowed to come and live in the chocolate factory. I hope you like the book. See you. Thank you.